in the most recent IA meeting where we had our federal lobbyist kind of do a quick recap on the federal legislation. And we've been monitoring all of that very closely. In addition, everything that we're doing at the local level, obviously, on the economic front, that's really important to us to stay very well up to speed on that. I say that knowing that you all are doing the same thing. And so much of what I talk about, you may already know, and forgive me for that, but there may be, to the extent that there is something that's new or that you have a follow-up on. If I don't have the information, I'll certainly be happy to follow up and get that and share it with you if I can. But again, I do recognize that a lot of this has been shared broadly and widely and very frequently at this point in time. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. Let me first say thank you to the Chamber as we start off. Sue has been everywhere I turn, it seems like, both physically and in our new virtual world. And I can't say enough about the cooperation from the Chamber and to all of your members in our business community. We see you stepping up in so many ways, and we just really appreciate it. Let me give you just a little bit here. I've got a summary, and I'll hit on just a few points. Last week, as we all know, Congress passed the bipartisan coronavirus relief package, which is now widely referred to as the CARES Act. Again, very high level, it provides $2.2 trillion in total relief and more than $350 billion specifically in support of small business. Far and away, the most significant provision related to the small businesses in this bill is the new, what's being called the Paycheck Protection Program, designed to help businesses keep their employees on the payroll. And I know you all have heard a lot about that. That's the Paycheck Protection Program. And what I'm going to talk about first, that's the big $350 billion tranche, if you will. So businesses can apply for loans under this program of up to $10 million, which can be used for payroll, benefits, mortgage. And what's important about this one is, again, you may have all heard, is that these loans will be forgivable to employers who keep employees on the payroll through June 30th. Again, those will be forgivable for employees who keep employees on the payroll through June 30th. The program is going to be based on the existing SBA 7A program, which is a partnership between private financial lenders, which issue the loans, and the SBA, which guarantees them. So businesses will be able to apply through banks, credit unions, and other SBA approved lenders. Businesses and nonprofits with fewer than 500 employees are generally eligible, and this includes self-employed and gig workers as well. The SBA is working to have a process in place by the end of this week where loans will be made and dispersed the same day, is what they're saying. In addition to the Paycheck Protection Program, the CARES Act also expands the SBA's existing disaster loan program, which some may be a lot more familiar with. Certainly we are. This is a loan which has proven to be very effective in past disasters. And most recently, I can recall, this was used extensively during the BP Horizon, the oil spill in Louisiana. This program, again, this SBA existing disaster loan program provides up to $2 million low interest, long-term loans to make up for the economic disruption caused, obviously, by COVID-19. Small businesses under this loan can apply for an immediate $10,000 advance, which according to the SBA will be given within 3 days of the request. The $10,000 advance doesn't have to be repaid if it's used for payroll, even if you get denied for the disaster loan later on, is what they're saying. But this, unlike the Paycheck Protection Act, is not tied to employers keeping employees on their books. Again, so that's maybe one of the bigger distinctions between these two. Beyond these two programs, folks, I just want to highlight a couple of other important provisions I know to all of you. In the CARES Act, the bill provides, importantly, for expanded unemployment insurance. As many of you may know by now, the federal government will provide $600 a week to individuals who are unable to work for reasons related to COVID-19. The federal assistance will complement existing state unemployment benefits. The $600 per week in federal payments will last up to 4 months. And the CARES Act extends state-level employment insurance by an additional 13 weeks. The bill also provides, and I'll bring this in for a landing, stimulus payments directly to individuals who make up to $75,000. They will receive $1,200 plus $500 per dependent child. The amount gradually decreases for incomes up to $99,000, at which point the payments cut off. Income levels will be based off of 2019 income tax returns for those who've already filed and 18 returns for those who haven't. This weekend, related to that program, many of you may have seen Treasury Secretary Mnuchin said that he expected those payments to be over the next, to be available within 3 weeks. Finally, I wanted to highlight what we're doing locally again, and I know many of you are up to speed on this, but just to recap, last week, as you all know, the intergovernmental agency who oversees Blueprint met to activate a local grant program that we put together using Blueprint's economic development dollars to support our small businesses. So the county and city utilized, and I think this is just an important point I wanted to mention, it's $1 million program. $1 million. We capitalized it up front with $1 million. We didn't take that million from any of our existing programs. I think that's important. Rather, it was a payback to the city and the county, which we had budgeted, where the city and county utilized city and county funds upfront before we started to receive any revenues to kind of kick off Blueprint. So we had a payback of that, roughly $500,000 to each of the county and the city. And those are the funds we're utilizing to do this. So that's an important little side note. But we're calling this program the COVID-19 Emergency Disaster Relief Program, or CEDAR, because we always have to have an acronym. Think of this program as a bridge to the bridge to help our small businesses stay open until the other assistance is available from the federal government. We recognized early on when we were developing this program that really one of our major assumptions was that again, I think we all recognize that really only the federal government has the resources to bring to bear sufficient to deal with the magnitude of the problem. However, if there was something that we could do locally here, we thought it was important to at least provide maybe some life support until those dollars flowed down from the feds. So this is a grant program. It's distributed in 3 tiers based on the number of employees. So businesses of 1 to 10 employees are eligible for a $1,500 loan, rather grant. That's an important distinction. This is a grant. There is no payback. Businesses with 11 to 24 employees will be awarded $2,500. Businesses with 25 to 50 employees will be granted $5,000. So 15, 2,500, and 5,000. Recipients will receive funds and we're really pushing this envelope of between 3 and 5 days. When we met the other day for the IA, we were up and running literally within hours. And over just the last few days, as of last night, we've received more than 240 applications, and we've already awarded more than 152 grants. Those are, and that number's up from this morning. It's up from that as of this morning. I'm sure the total, that brings us to a total of $350,000 locally so far of that million. And again, on that, I want to thank Sue and the Chamber for all the help in spreading the word on that to our business community, which has been absolutely vital. We have, OEV has all the resources that they need. We have lots of employees who are doing other things in the county and city governments who are now grant application officers. And again, as you can tell, it's been very, very busy. Side notes, while these grants are not a lot of money, one of the things that I've been really most impressed with is the comments that we're getting back from these individuals. They've been really eye-opening. These are businesses that all of us know the names and we know the people. And I guess what I've been just so impressed about is the extent of the gratitude and what they've expressed in terms of how much this, again, even though it's a relatively small amount of money, is actually helping them get to the, again, the bridge to the bridge. Finally, just for my part, folks, we're doing lots of other things, as you can imagine, at the county, and the 40 or 50 different things that we do in the county government. I can tell you from my part, I've never worked in emergency, and I've worked, I can't even count how many hurricanes now, starting with Andrew, and certainly Zika and bird flu and swine flu and N1H1 and Ebola, and you name it. Nothing compares to this in terms of this event has impacted every single thing that we do. And I know that that's true for all of you as well.